Just like that, we're back. The Views from Section 400 podcast. I'm pumped up because we have an action-packed episode for you guys in this one. It's the midweek show. Winners and losers. I mean, who doesn't love a winners and losers show? NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are here. NBA starts as well on Thursday. Get into a little NFL, new college football schedule, which is wild. First time ever. Know a lot of people are pumped for that. Get into some MLB, the London Series. Phillies just swept the Brewers, heading over to London. Last time they made a crazy road trip, Arizona out to NLCS, came back, folded. I really hope London doesn't have some bad juju because that would be so bad after just such an unbelievable start at the MLB. But action-packed. I didn't even get into everything. 4 and 400 at the end. It's a Views from Section 400. Let's jump right in to the winners and losers, like we always do. Jack, you're 4 beers deep. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Y'all will be listening to this on a nice Thursday morning, but we're feeling good today. My winner is going to be sports gamblers. You love to see this, whether it's me, Brian, Matt, you love to see this as a sports gambler. There's a college baseball player, Duke player, just retired, just finished his last season as a player in quote-unquote professional sports. Collegiate sports is basically professional sports at this point. But his name is Chad Knight, Duke baseball player. And after his last collegiate game, he tweets, "Goodbye, college baseball. Hello, DraftKings."
So you want to know what's pretty interesting about that, dude? I actually DM'd that guy and asked him if he wanted to hop on the podcast. I guess I'll send the DM to Brian and he can put it as a clip as you say that. But I just shot him a quick DM because I thought it'd be awesome to get that guy on the pod.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I love that. I love that out of you. Get that outreach going.
Yeah, I wanted to see if the guy would come on. I mean, I don't think he responded yet. I got to check again, but that'd be pretty hilarious. Low-key guy who we might be able to get on. So stay tuned because that is in the works.
Dude, I had to shout him out as our winner of the week. At least for me, I've got a couple buddies who played college sports, professional sports, and as soon as they're done with the show, they're like, "What's an over under? What's the spread mean? Plus minus. What does that mean?" I'm all for it. I love telling them what it's about because back in the day. And don't let I don't even know who investigates this shit. The FBI, the FDA, FCC. I don't fucking know. But they used to tell me like, "Yo, we gonna win this game by 15 points, 15 plus points." And it's a quick little bag. And we're not pulling no Porter out here. We're not putting 150 bands on any of these bets. But he tells me he's winning by 15 points. Yeah, we're gonna bump up the units, maybe 2 or 3 units, and it worked. It worked.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. He's got to be careful. If he does get drafted, Major League Baseball is really cracking down on those gamblers. I'm sorry to this guy. I'm sure you're going through enough. I'm going to butcher your name here. Tutapita Marcano, infielder on the Pirates, banned for life from baseball because he was betting on games. And his own team, he was betting on Pirates games. The worst part of it all, he got caught. He won 4.13% of all bets he made.
Dude, look, I'm talking about a guy who probably just played his last game of like organized baseball outside of like a men's league in like his local where did he go to school? North Carolina or Duke? Yeah, Duke in North Carolina. Outside of his local Charlotte like men's league. He's not playing in any professional games. He's got nothing to worry about. You're an MLB player, an NBA player. We've seen it, with the Murray, with the guy who I'm not even going to try and butcher his name. You're going to come out here and bet on yourself. Overs, unders, doesn't matter. So dumb. So dumb. All I'm saying for my winner of the week, welcome Chad Knight to the sports gambler degeneracy. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, come on the pod, Chad. We'd love to have you. Talk some parlays.
DMs are open.
Let's get into the loser of the week. That was a long-ass winner of the week. Sorry about that, folks, but this one's not going to be any shorter. I can guarantee you that. This is a good one to me. All right? You guys, I really want your opinions here. My loser of the week is going to be the GOAT conversation in the NBA. Why this week? I cannot give you any specific reason other than I've seen Shaq and Draymond talking about it. But oh my God, I am so sick of this GOAT conversation. Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, the three front runners that everyone always talks about. I'm so sick of the GOAT conversation. To me, it's just different. These guys played in different eras. You cannot compare what Michael Jordan had to do to what LeBron James has done. Like, you really can't. And if you really want to compare them, it's so nitpicky. You can take the championships from Jordan. You can take the playoff stats from LeBron, the all-time stats, the longevity stats from LeBron. You can talk about the clutch, the killer moments from Kobe. It's nitpicking here or there. I'm so done with it. Brian, Matt, what do you got for me?
I mean, you're going to have to deal with a whole new crew of people talking about it next year. Now that Inside the NBA is dead, you're going to get a whole new set of people for the Mount Cock because they're streaming about 50 regular season games next year. And the GOAT conversation is going to be a hot topic.
Got to be honest, I don't even watch the regular season anyway, so that really doesn't move the needle for me at all.
Dude, I'm Brian, you may have just outdone my loser of the week with the fact that you just reminded me that Inside the NBA is not going to be back next year, because that's the biggest loser of them all. That's Mark Sanchez butt fumble loser of the week, or what do they do on ESPN? Worst of the worst. That's Mark Sanchez butt fumble worst of the worst for 20 straight weeks until they go, fuck it, we have to retire this because no one's ever going to say any play is worse than that.
Yeah, I think.
And you can fact check that because that's what ESPN did. They fucking retired that play in the worst of the worst because nobody was ever going to say a play was worse than that. They had to retire that shit.
Yeah, I think I did misspeak. They might have one season left, so we do get a farewell tour of Inside the NBA. But maybe we'll get a worst of the worst Shaq and a Fool, so we have that to look forward to.
I think we address the GOAT conversation for a second, because Michael Jordan, different era, right? LeBron, different era. Then you look at MJ, all the titles. LeBron, the most points ever. So I used to be a big MJ guy, and I still am. And I'm not like a big LeBron guy, and I'm really not. Like, I actually don't like LeBron, and I hope he never wins again. But in terms of just being the all-time leader in points, right? You're playing basketball at the highest level in the NBA, and you have the most points in history. By default, doesn't that just make you the best?
I think
but that's where the MJ fans will come in and be like, dude, that's a longevity stat. Like, MJ was so good at basketball.
What does that matter?
Let's go play baseball for a little while. And then he came back.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the best. And the best at something is having the most in the sport. I don't know. That's just how I kind of see it. I don't like the longevity thing doesn't mean anything, because MJ could have the most too. Why does he? Because of modern medicine, because of this or that? Like, he could have taken better of his body a little bit better. And he was down in AC gambling, drinking, smoking cigars.
Well, it's what Jack said. He left to play baseball.
That's his choice.
Yeah.
We're not talking about his feelings or what he did to prevent himself from having the most points.
Yeah. I just think the points have become your go-to for every argument NBA related here. You were big Luke as the best player because he's leading the league in points.
Because it just makes sense.
But Matt, here's the thing.
How do you win games? By scoring points? Sure, you can want to go that, but the team with the more points wins.
Well, you could say that LeBron James has the most points in a career ever, but at the same time, Michael Jordan is 6-0 in the NBA championship in the finals. Like, LeBron cannot say that. He lost to Dirk. He lost to white boy Dirk. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, So
I'm
he
just
lost
saying,
to the
man.
Warriors. You know, he's had some L's along the way in the finals, and like, yeah, he made what was it, 9 straight, 10 straight, which is a very underrated stat, by the way. And I know we said that I believe it was last week's podcast that the East wasn't shit during LeBron's tenure, but still, like, we have not seen a person, let alone a team, do that 9, 10 straight outside of LeBron. Nobody.
I was a big LeBron guy too. And I think the fact he's lost so many finals, that kind of argument is a little overrated when the MJ fans go right to that. But he did lose a finals where Andre Iguodala won Finals MVP. Like, you can't be doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you can't be the GOAT when that's the case.
We're talking about debatably the best team of all time, that Warriors team.
Uh, yeah, but Andre Iguodala was the best player for the Warriors in that series.
Which I don't know is fair to say. I mean, his job was to like lock down LeBron, and he did a good enough job for them to win, which I guess you could give it to him for. But like, we're talking about Steph Curry, the best shooter of all time. We're
He
talking
played
about
like shit in
Klay
that
Thompson.
series.
We're talking about Klay Thompson, a without a doubt top 10, probably top 5 shooter of all time. We're talking about
Steph's
we
the best
talk
shooter of all time, period. There's no top 5 or top
Yeah,
10.
he
He's
is the
number
best.
1.
who?
Steph.
Steph.
No,
It's
I
not even
said that.
close.
I'm talking about Klay Thompson's top 10, debatably top 5.
I mean, but two of the best players in that series for the Warriors were Iguodala and Sean Livingston.
Bro, Sean Livingston was low key
Yeah, he never missed the mid range, but like just the fact.
All right, if we're getting too far down the rabbit hole here, Jack, appreciate the winners and losers from your side of the field on this one. Again, this is a winners and losers segment, guys, here, and we're going down on Klay Thompson being the top 5, top 10 shooter in the it's the summer.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's the summer.
Yo, the finals around the corner, man. We're getting juiced up for the finals.
We need football back.
Yeah, we do. But going off about guys who aren't even playing in the finals tomorrow, by the way. But Brian, give us some winners and losers so we can make our way through this show.
All right, I'll try to be quick with it. So my winner of the week is actually going to be Major League Baseball, a very rare win for them as a brand. This happened last week, but we haven't talked about it yet. So they are incorporating Negro League stats into the history books, which the one big winner of that, Josh Gibson, he's going to be the all-time leader in batting average, third all-time in on-base percentage, first all-time in OPS, and first all-time in slugging percentage. This guy hit 372 in his career in the Negro Leagues, got on base at a 459 clip, and had a higher OPS and slugging than Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds.
Dude, that's nuts.
The one real thing that's a shame is their seasons were only 45 to 60 games. So he still played for 12 years. So the stats, the averages are still warranted. But if he was playing 160 in the majors, he could be up there as a home run leader, an RBI leader, hit leader. But he just didn't have the opportunity.
It's all about the averages because they didn't play enough games in a season.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy, I'm going to say his name again, Josh Gibson. Remember the name. This guy deserves all the respect when it comes to Major League Baseball, and he'll be inducted into the MLB Hall of Fame. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but he'll be in the MLB Hall of Fame soon.
375 career average.
372. 459 on base.
That's nuts.
Yep, and he kind of tragically, he played from 18 to 34. He died at 35. So this guy, all he knew how to do was hit the baseball, and then he tragically passed away. But I mean, what a time on this earth to just mash baseballs and then,
Damn.
Yeah, literally right when he's exiting his prime, just that's all he had to give in this life.
Brian, excuse my ignorance, but what is what does his timeline line up with Jackie Robinson?
So he was towards the end of the segregation era, I guess you could call it. Which is still this is when Babe Ruth's Yankees were going crazy, and baseball was And arguably, the Negro Leagues were more talented than Major League Baseball towards the end before Jackie Robinson came along. Like Bob Gibson and Satchel Paige, when you look at their stats, like their ERAs went down when they integrated in because it was just harder to pitch. So, I mean, these numbers are just absurd.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, good for Major League Baseball to give them Josh Gibson and all of the players that played with him the respect they deserve. And then my loser of the week, Kevin Durant. So my next chapter means are back. Kylian Mbappe signed with Real Madrid after they won their 15th Champions League. And immediately all of the memes on Twitter were just the my next chapter Mbappe because he pulled Kevin Durant and he's joining Jude Bellingham, making that super team down there at La Liga. So Kevin Durant, big loser.
I was really confused how you were gonna tie that into Kevin Durant, but it makes total sense. I mean, Real just won the Champions League; they're top of the world right now. And then what do? You go sign the best player in the world, debatably. So yeah, I mean, this is the Warriors 2.0 when the Warriors were on top of the world, and let's just go sign Kevin Durant, who's arguably the best offensive player of all time. Sick. That's a great pull. I like that, Brian.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Matt, you
good.
probably know more about Jude Bellingham's game than I do, but I mean, he's 20 years old and you're pairing him with Mbappe now.
Yeah, well, I didn't know how you were going to spin that because I thought you were going to call Mbappe the loser of the week for ditching PSG and going and joining the super team. But I guess somehow Katie catches the stray there. Yeah, I mean, dude, they just won the Champions League and they're all extremely young. People forget Mbappe was lighting shit up when he was like 17, 18 years old. So he's younger than me. You know, I'm 26. This guy feels like he's been around forever. And what's he, 24, 25 maybe?
I think I saw that he's been with PSG for 6 or 7 years.
Exactly. I mean, that's like a long career in the NFL. And this guy still has 10 plus years of his prime left, which is wild. But yeah, I mean, a super team just got even more powerful.
And also FC Barcelona congratulated Real Madrid after they won. And they were catching some heat for that. So I guess they could also be a loser.
And for people who don't understand what that might mean, that's like the Philadelphia Eagles congratulating the Dallas Cowboys for winning the Super Bowl. That just doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It's ridiculous that it did. And Barcelona is going to be in a long period of turmoil and misery, and they might have just cursed their entire club. So wild move by them, to say the least.
Yeah.
But I guess I can jump into a little winners and losers here, and then we will proceed on with the show. I think I finally got a good winner, a pretty funny winner, but just congrats to the guy. So this past week, over in Taiwan, a lot of crazy shit surrounding Taiwan. But over in Taiwan, they played the Taiwanese basketball finals. And friend of the pod, friend of the program, DeMarcus Cousins won finals MVP. Boogie out there, wins the league, finals MVP, 24 points, 14 rebounds is what he averaged in the playoffs. They swept the entire playoffs. They didn't lose one game in the playoffs, won the title. Boogie had a 24 point, 24 rebound game. It might have been the final game of the finals, but he did have a game there. So DeMarcus Cousins is my winner of the week. 2024 Taiwanese basketball finals MVP. Oh, by the way, for the Taiwan Beer Leopards is their name.
The Beer Leopards?
The Beer Leopards. What a fucking name, dude. Get that as a minor league baseball team ASAP.
Good for Boogie. He's still doing Boogie Cousin things. He's probably still pretty young, too. I think he left the league.
I mean, the averages that he had over there were pretty unreal. I mean, I feel like that league, maybe not the most competitive in the world, but
not.
Probably pretty short,
worst,
too.
Right?
I would imagine, at least if it's a lot of Taiwan natives, it's probably a pretty short league.
Well, yeah.
Brian, you'd be surprised, man. There's some tall Yao Ming looking motherfuckers everywhere you go. Okay, everywhere you go. All right, and they find a couple of them that go play power forward or center. You can believe that. But yeah, no, you're gonna bring DeMarcus Cousins. Like, I'm pretty sure he was All NBA at one point. Definitely an All Star at one point. You're going to bring him into a Taiwan league. He's going to fucking dominate, dude. He better go undefeated. He better go win playoff or finals MVP. I mean, look, I'm not going to take anything away from him. Shout out Boogie. But, yeah, he better go do that shit. It's a Taiwan league. And shout out my boy Max. My boy Max plays in a Taiwan league. He's home right now, recovering from a knee injury. Yeah, no, Taiwan is not. It's not Spain. It's not Slovenia. Like the highest end of the highest end.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they probably play in the same league, to be honest. But yeah, I mean that's why DeMarcus Cousins won the week, because he was the Finals MVP of a country's national basketball league.
Yeah,
I mean, since it's so easy, one of you guys go do it.
Well, I don't know if this is beneath this guy, but I don't know what John Wall's up to nowadays.
Yeah, tell him to go do it.
Get them paired back like the old Kentucky days, just dunking on Taiwanese basketball.
John Wall could do it, Matt. I put my whole fucking I go to the bank in DeMarcus Cousins terms. I go to the bank, I take out all the money I have, and I put it on DeMarcus Cousins to beat Brittany Griner.
Yeah, I mean, look, they don't even need him because Boogie's handling shit on his own over there. So good for him, man. Winner of the week, Boogie Cousins, Finals MVP, the Taiwan Basketball League. Didn't even look like he was breaking a sweat out there. But we'll jump over to the loser of the week, and it's just going to be the entirety of the NBA, WNBA. What the hell's going on? You guys finally get a little bit of publicity. People finally start giving a shit. And it's just like turmoil. It's absolute chaos with Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, the players beating up on Clark. I know we touched on it in a previous pod, but I mean, they're like blowing up the league as it's getting popular. And I think there's a lot of jealousy going on. People can't stand Caitlin Clark being good. And I'm going to get a lot of heat possibly, but they can't stand it because she's white. And I'll leave that at that. It is what it is. She's the number one pick. She's the face of the league. She's brought all this attention into the league. But, I mean, players are even saying it like, oh, it's not because of one player. We all know who that one player is not the reason why where everybody's watching. You know, you're watching because of me. You're watching because of me, too. It's just not the case. Stats don't lie. All the Caitlin Clark viewed games had, I think, doubled of any game without her playing in it. So, she is the real reason why everybody's watching, whether you want to admit that or not. I mean, you know, sometimes the truth hurts, but yeah, that's my loser of the week. The absolute chaos in the WNBA finally gets a little popular, and shit's just a nuclear bomb right now.
Yeah, I apologize. I forget the name of the woman that was on First Take with Stephen A. But Stephen A was talking about this whole thing on First Take because every media person is talking about Caitlin Clark right now. But he was making some points. I don't know exactly what he said, but then she cut in and kind of just trashed his whole spiel because she said if this was 3 years ago, he would have no idea what he was talking about. He just started watching the WNBA now. That statement alone kind of encapsulates what is wrong with everything right now. Like, yeah, you wouldn't be talking about it 3 years ago because your sport's getting popular now. You should be embracing the fact he is talking about it. But it's like players and media personalities are gatekeeping the WNBA because the people that are newly watching it shouldn't be able to enjoy it because Caitlin Clark's there, which makes no sense at all if you want a girly game. It's a really weird, just like, it's a
weird dynamic, man.
It's super
Brian,
weird.
you know what that sounds like? Oh, like I heard about this artist and like I've known about them from before they blew up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're just someone who found about them after they got popular. Like, it's all so dumb. It really is. I mean, if I'm a WNBA player, like you gotta realize that this woman is the reason why you're on charter flights. I mean, you have to realize that. Women's college basketball was not talked about in that light. I mean, sure, Angel Reese played a role in it like 2 years ago when her and the LSU team made the run and won the championship, but it was nowhere near as big as Clayton Clark was this past season. And now she's in the WNBA, first overall pick, big news, big letters. Look, give it to her, all right? Yeah, sure, she's not like performing out her shoes yet, coming into the league and being dominant. I didn't expect it. I don't know if you guys did. I certainly know Matt did not expect it. But, dude, she's just trying to figure it out. What I wanted to say about Matt's take on WNBA being savagery right now, I was watching the Liberty against the Sky last night. Angel Reese got kicked out of the game late in the game after they blew a 17-point lead to Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. But Angel Reese at one point, and I got to give her some credit real quick before I badmouth her. She is a fucking fiend on the boards. She goes and gets rebounds better than anybody else that I was watching on the floor, and that's including Stewart. That's including Ionescu, two vets. That's including Camila Cardoza, who's like 7 feet tall. Angel Reese was an absolute fiend on the boards, but when there was a ball, came off the rim, went off, she went to go grab the rebound. She grabbed the rebound. The girl on her team who just tried to who just tried to get the layup in, down on the ground, like holding her shit. Angel Reese comes in, kicks her in the fucking head, goes for the rebound, tries for a layup, doesn't get it, like comes back down. Like, I don't think she hit her again, but like goes right back up with it and then like gets fouled or whatever and then like goes to the line. The 3 other girls on the Sky went to go pick up their teammate that was on the ground that missed the original layup. Angel Reese is just walking her ass over the foul line. And like, this is not like a fuck you Angel Reese thing, but like, I talked about it on Losers of the Week, I believe 2 weeks ago, or maybe even last week. Be a good teammate with the whole Harrison Butker thing and Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce. The 3 other girls on the Sky go to pick up this guard. Hey, get up, you feeling all right? Angel Reese is like, fuck, I missed that layup. I got to go to the line. I don't like her. After seeing that, like, I don't care about this, that, whatever case you want to make. You got to be a good teammate or I don't fucking like you. And I think that honestly encapsulates everything we've been talking about in this segment with the WNBA.
Jack, how hammered are you?
Pretty drunk. I need another beer, too.
I mean, Jesus Christ, man. That was a 4.5-minute speech on Angel Reese. All right, enough of the WNBA.
Sorry for a soliloquy.
Like, holy shit. Sorry, I did not mean to make that my loser of the week. Yeah, that's winners and losers of the week. Probably the longest in views from Section 400 of history. But there's always going to be one, right? I mean, there's always going to be one that's the longest. That's going to be tough to beat. I think we're going to need all of us to be hammered, maybe not just Jack, and then that could be a 4-hour show. But we'll roll on here. That's winners and losers of the week from the boys of views from Section 400. Jumping a little NHL, Stanley Cup playoffs. The team out of the Pacific Northwest, Edmonton Oilers, taking on Jack's Florida Panthers, who bet on them, voted for them. First game, badge right there. Super fan, some would say. In 2024, first game.
Time to hunt.
But yeah, I mean, look, right? I mean, Brian, you're honestly you're kind of a Panthers guy too. I mean, all your glory.
I'm rooting for Edmonton.
They're a team of the Pacific Northwest, so I don't know why you would do such a thing.
In the Pacific Northwest.
But with that being said, I think I kind of want the Panthers to win. Just the players they have on the team. Edmonton, I want to see the Canadian misery continue. Oh, it's Canada. Oh, it's hockey. Oh, it's their sport. Well, the NHL teams from Canada have been dog shit, and they haven't been able to win an NHL title. Good chance it breaks this year, but the Florida Panthers are a tough team.
Yeah, I just want to see it go 7. I'll be taking the over 5.5 games bet. I really don't
Yeah,
care.
188 isn't great value, but it seems like a lock.
No, I think that that's actually really good value for what the bet is itself. I mean, I'm with you that, minus 188, you're not really loving that, but for what it is, over 5.5, I mean, just to push this to 6 games, absolutely. Absolutely.
I would like to find some juice on the game to go to a game 7 or the series to go to game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part. If that's at minus 188, you're probably getting to go to game 7 at maybe
Plus two.
maybe plus
I was
money,
thinking.
plus 110.
I was thinking like plus 170, plus
Probably.
150 to
It's
go
a
to
one
7
game.
games.
It's a 1 game difference.
Yeah, but it's also like one singular game that you're betting on it to go to. Like over 5.5 can be 6 or 7, so you have a second game in there.
That's true. That's true.
But either way, should be plus money. Obviously, Jack, you got the Panthers. That's who you're going to take to win. Brian sounds like he wants the Oilers to win, which is a wild move after the whole Pacific Northwest drama. But I'm so conflicted. I think I'm rooting for the Panthers because I like Matthew Tkachuk and obviously Flyers legend Sergei Bobrovsky between the pipes for the Florida Panthers. So I think I got to be on the Panthers bandwagon for this one. And they're favored to win, right? For good reason. Minus 128, Oilers plus 108 on the money line in the series money line. But yeah, any other insight for you guys before we jump on to the next topic here?
Yeah, no, I thought that Florida was going to do it last year. Got bounced after being a 1 seed, and here they are back ready to do it this year. Let's go, Florida.
Connor McDavid's gonna get his first cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot on his shoulders. Is he the next Gretzky or is he a fraud? He's got the talent, but you got to have the heart. We'll see if he gets it done. Moving on to the new college football schedule. And I'll let Brian run this one because I'm still not totally sure of the whole schedule. But Brian, maybe you can help the viewers out with how this is going to go down this year, I should say, for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I'll preface this with longtime viewers of the show. You may have remembered last winter we had the 12 Days of Bolmus. This year's 12 Days of Bolmus are about to be electric. So starting on December 21st, we have a Friday night first round game at a campus site. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. Roll into Saturday, we have 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock first round matchups. Week later, on New Year's Eve, I guess a week and a half later, New Year's Eve, we get one game, one quarterfinal game at 7:30 Eastern. New Year's Day, when everyone's hungover as fuck, just wants to sit down and watch football, we get noon, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, quarterfinal games. Semifinals a week later, we get a Thursday night football semifinal. And then the next semifinal is a Friday night semifinal. So that'll roll into wild card weekend for the NFL. And then the week after, we get divisional round. And then on Monday, you have the Natty. So December football is about to, I guess December and January football is about to be incredible.
So,
Brian, real quick, the Thursday night, Friday night semis. The Thursday night, that's not. Is there Thursday night football on that night too?
Probably, yeah. No, it'll be playoffs. It'll be the playoffs.
It'll be playoffs, right?
Yeah, our Thursday night football will be the semifinal, and then we'll get Super Bowl wildcard weekend on that Saturday.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
The only thing I gotta say is with July coming up, does that mean Bolmus in July? I don't know how we swing that, but they always say Christmas in July.
We'll have to come out with a Bolmus promo in July and do a little Bolmus in July.
I'm sure we can put our thinking caps on and have a Views from Section 400 Bolmus in July special.
I cannot wait for Bolmus next year because it's
going to be awesome, man. It's going to be unbelievable. Look, you know we're like the podcast of futures. How early is too early to give out a national champion?
I think it's still a little. The transfer portal is still active, so might be a little early.
Yeah, definitely a little early. But it's going to be a lot of storylines, which I can't wait for. But we'll see what happens.
I'm so excited. So excited.
Jack, your boys down at Florida State going to be any good this year?
Football?
No, baseball.
Oh, well, baseball, yeah, they're in the Super Regional. Catch them on Friday.
Yeah? Is that your future?
What, you want them or what?
No, I mean, dude, we're talking about football right now.
I know. That's why I'm like, why are you bringing them up? You just trying to throw shit at them right now or what?
But dude, have you been paying attention to the last 5 minutes of the pod?
Yes.
Brian and I were talking about, I said, is it too early to give out a future? Brian said yes. I said going to be a lot of interesting storylines. And then I said, Jack, how are your boys down at Florida State going to be? And you looked at me and went, well, for what sport?
All right.
And
well,
I
to be fair,
said baseball because Brian and I were just talking about football. So now
I'll give him. He might have thought.
To be fair, you're going to bring up Florida State right here, right now on June 5th, 2024. They're in the Super Regional. That's the team. That's the team right now. All right,
but we're talking about football.
Florida State football got nothing to say to you, Matt.
All I asked for was a quick opinion to see how you thought they might be doing this year. If any important guys leave, any important guys come in, whatever. Still can tell a little sore topic from them getting snubbed last season. So
any guys leaving? Any guys leaving? You want me to go down the list? We got Jordan Travis at quarterback, Trey Benson at running back. You got two of the best defensive linemen with Verse. He went in the first round of the Rams. And dude, Fisk, big 50 Fisk. Yes, dude. There's plenty of guys who left.
There are plenty of guys. Coleman, Mr.
Keon Coleman, the first pick of the second round to the Bills, wide receiver. Yes, there's plenty of guys missing this upcoming season.
We'll wait until we ask that question again. Brian, anything else on college football before we can quickly jump off it?
Yeah, Auburn's going to sneak in as the 12th seed, and they're going to win the Natty.
I mean, with the extended playoff, that's not that crazy of a prediction at all. Now, quarterback's going to have to play a lot better, but in terms of sneaking it as a 12, I think they could make it happen.
War Eagle.
Need the quarterback play to increase.
And we'll have Walker White cooking soon enough.
Yeah, after an 0-3 start.
If they lose to Cal, I might have to burn all my Auburn stuff. They're not going to lose to Cal.
They're not going to lose to Cal. But if they did, that would be out of control. Yeah. Little NFL talk here. Justin Jefferson, highest paid non-quarterback ever. Wild. CeeDee Lamb, either going to be a close second or is he going to overtake Justin Jefferson? I don't think so. Jerry Jones doesn't even want to fucking pay the guy to begin with. Highly doubt he beats Justin Jefferson's new monster deal.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing that you can point to say that he deserves more money than Justin Jefferson. And that's what it's going to come down to. Simple as that. That on top of the fact that the Cowboys need to go pay Dak and Micah Parsons. I mean, everybody's talking about like a big three in the NBA. Well, the big three for the Cowboys in the NFL.
You said need to pay Dak?
Brian, let me put it this way. Brian, I am not a Dak Prescott believer, but let me put it this way. Let's look at the rank of quarterbacks that came into the league this year. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix. You're going to take any of them over a Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
You're not.
I'm taking Jaden and Caleb Williams over
Three
Dak.
out of those four guys are going to be frauds. And the guy who's not going to be a fraud is Michael Penix.
No,
okay, well, he's not going to see the year. He's not going to see the field for the next 3 or 4 years. So, again, I go back to my original point.
Got the best shot to be great.
You're not getting anybody better than Dak as a Cowboys fan, as a Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones as the coach, Mike McCarthy, you're not getting anybody better than Dak. I can guarantee you that. With CD and Micah and the team you have right now, no, you're not. You're not doing any better than Dak. So yes, they are going to have to pay Dak. They are going to have to pay Micah because he is a generational defensive talent, and they're going to have to pay CD something. It's not going to be more than Jefferson.
You pay CD, and then you pay Micah, and then you go get other free agents, and you let Trey Lance cook.
Well, the whole Micah situation is going on right now. I mean, he's purposefully missing OTAs, so he's not showing up. Mandatory OTAs, he's not there. Working, trying to get a contract extension done. And I saw today that if it doesn't work out, he wants to go play for his hometown team, the Philadelphia Eagles, which is
give me a break.
A wild thing to say as a Cowboys fan or as a Cowboys player. But a lot of things going on right now. He's not signed. He's not happy. And he's going to be even more pissed when this whole season goes by and they franchise tag him at the end of the year. Trouble in Dallas, despite all the other teams.
Yeah, Dallas fans are so insufferable. They deserve this. They've had the Mavs, they've had the Rangers, Stars. I know they lost, but yeah,
they still let it run.
Yeah, but it's coming home.
Is he going to the Eagles, Brian?
No, he's not going to the Eagles. Actually, I guess I can't even say that because I said that about Saquon, and then a day later, Saquon signed with the
If Micah Parsons goes to the Philadelphia Eagles before week 1,
I won't watch week 2.
You cannot watch the entire NFL season.
No.
Entire.
No, I'll forfeit week 2 and 3. So I miss the first. You know what? If Micah Parsons goes to the Eagles before the start of the season, I will forfeit all of September. I won't watch football in September. I won't watch NFL football in September.
I don't think that's going to happen, but we all know what happened.
I would love to see this.
I didn't think Saquon was going to the Eagles, and he did. If Micah Parsons somehow ends up with the Eagles tomorrow, oh my Lord.
They don't have the cap space for him, do they?
They have like $30 million to play with, so is he going to be – are they going to be able to pay him under $30 million a year?
I think Bosa got like 24.
Yeah, so if they paid Micah like 27 a year, they could get him. Dude, people forget the Eagles. Fletcher Cox off the books. Hassan Reddick off the books. Who's the other one I'm missing? Jason Kelsey off the books. Those are 3 guys who are making over $10 million per year last year that are no longer on the books.
3 all-pro players.
Yeah, but I mean, they replaced him, right? I mean, you got, what was it, Bryce Huffin, 10 sacks, 26, 27 years old. Darius Slay. They're throwing Bradbury out there, advertising him for a team to come in and trade for him. That'll swoop up. Cooper DeJean looked electric in mandatory mini camp the last 2 days. Eli Rogers. People forget about that guy. He's getting starting corner reps. No, whoever the guy who was gambling, I forget his name. The Rogers guy.
But Matt, we're talking about Jason Kelsey, who's been a perennial, debatable number 1 overall center year in and year out. We're talking about Fletcher Cox, who some players have said they've never seen another guy like him.
Cox was kind of old at the end. He was only a rotation. He was only a rotational guy, and I won't deny it. I mean, the Eagles' defensive line core is one of the youngest in football, if not the youngest. I think their oldest guy is like 24, 25 years old. It's Milton Williams out of Louisiana Tech, who's a nice player, but only 25 or so years old. I mean, you got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. All those guys are super young.
A guy
they shipped everyone else. What about Hargrave? Where's he at?
He's on
the Niners.
A guy named Milton cannot be good at football. It's not allowed.
Louisiana Tech legend. I mean, they drafted him in like the 3rd or 4th round, and he's still on the team after a couple of years. So,
and Brian, how do you feel about Joe Milton?
The Tennessee quarterback?
He's in the NFL now, and he's on the Patriots. How do you feel about Joe Milton? You
Yeah, he's
said people
horrible.
named Milton suck at football.
He's horrible. See him in the Senior Bowl, he was throwing like, what are you shoving a fake mic in my face?
Yes.
I have a mic right here.
Speaking of the Senior Bowl, whatever happened to that University of New Hampshire running back that everybody fucking fell in love with for 2 days?
I don't know.
What was his name?
I forget his name. Brian knows who I'm talking about.
I do know who you're talking about. He was like a Danny Woodhead guy.
Yeah, like short white dude from like New Hampshire, which plays in what Brian calls a fake Division One, even though it's considered Division One.
But it's fake.
Where did he go?
There's a reason JMU wanted to get out of there.
Is it better or worse than D2 ball?
Better. It's like you know how when MLB prospects get called up and they suck and they call them a quadruple A player, that's the fake D1. It's quadruple A.
Remember when Appalachian State knocked off top ranked Michigan?
Yeah, in like 2006.
It's a great game.
All right, I guess we should move on.
He went to the Raiders. He went to the Raiders.
Sounds about right.
All right. Anything else in the NFL that you guys got? I know we're still a couple months, but dude, I mean, you can tell, dude. You start saying the Eagles, I'm fired up about. I want to get into football so bad because they're going to be extremely good. People are still sleeping, which is fine. I don't need them to be awake.
Yeah,
Just like last year.
The worst
Moving
part,
on.
Yeah, made the playoffs.
The thing that always kind of gets me hyped up for football season is those first couple episodes of Hard Knocks. And this year I'm gonna have to watch the fucking Giants' miserable training camp on Hard Knocks.
I thought Hard Knocks was like cursed for the year.
Yeah, basically.
Wasn't it the Jets last year?
Giants
And
might as well
Rodgers
be
fucking
cursed.
blew his leg out.
Yep.
So good luck.
Yeah. Okay. Can they really even get cursed? It's not gonna be a fun year.
I don't know. Fucking the top wide receiver pick fucking snaps his ankle.
It's a transitional year, as Steve Cohen would say.
No, it's not even that. I don't even have faith in a transitional.
New York's the teams of transitions.
The last time a New York team won a championship was the Giants. That's how long it's been.
I mean, everyone loves to rip on Philly, but look at the New York fans that got so over the top about the Knicks and the Rangers. And both teams went down in misery and lost.
Look, Matt, to be fair, the Rangers were pretty fucking good. The Florida Panthers were just better. And then as far as the Knicks go, man, if they could have stayed healthy, they could have had a legitimate shot. You forget, they didn't have Julius Randle, who's an all-pro player, like for the entirety of the playoffs. That's a big deal.
They might have been better without Randle.
Yeah, I think they were better without Randle. But again, you're just making excuses.
It's not that hot of a take, but I'm trying to help out New York fans.
Yeah, you're making an excuse, giving a sob story for two teams who lost.
Bro, no OG Anunoby. Like, come on now. Now.
An L is an L, right? I mean, nobody's going to look at what happened during the series. They just see what the final result was. I mean, nobody's making excuses for Embiid's knee injury and being hurt for the playoffs. So, we can always pick a sob story. An L is an L. It's just the bottom line.
We're just going to blame it on Ben Simmons.
He had a role in the entirety of the process going sideways. But that's a conversation for a different day. I say we roll into some MLB. The London Series is kicking off this weekend. Notice how I say kicking off because it's played at a soccer stadium, football stadium, if you want to call it that for proper terminology. But I think it's at the West Ham Stadium. London Stadium is the proper name. And the Philadelphia Phillies take on the New York Mets in an NL East divisional matchup, 2-game series over across the pond. Going to be wild, going to be nuts. I'll be watching. Zach Myers, friend of the program, fucking on the staff here of Views from Section 400, is in London, boots on the ground for the London Series. So I don't know how he didn't tell any of us that. I knew that. I guess I could relay that to you guys too. But yeah, Myers, boots on the ground in London for the series. We'll see what kind of content we can dig up out of him. Should be a good one, so stay tuned. But we got to talk about the 2-game series over across the pond. But a little more, if you remember the debate we had about Premier League games coming to the U.S. Here's another example of the United States outsourcing professional sports across the
It's a
pond.
U.S. sport. They've been doing this
Brian,
since the 1900s.
but it's just more and more happening. Again, there's just going to be another sample added to the sample size of how much money you're making going across into another country for a legitimate game that counts matchup. And Liga, La Liga already approved to come here. MLB's doing it in London again. NFL is already fucking all over the world. I mean, that's Roger Goodell's like fucking, if you look at a president's policy, foreign policy, that's fucking Roger Goodell's. Is how many games can he get not in America? But yeah, I mean, we have the London series. What do you got to say about that, Brian? Just thought that was an interesting concept here.
Yeah, well, baseball has been going to other countries since 1910, so this isn't a new concept. Babe Ruth was going out and playing in Japan way back in the day. But
were they playing legit games, or was he just going there and doing like
it was like an all-star thing?
Okay, so not a legit game. Got it.
But it's still like a diplomacy. And
I got you. The Premier League does a diplomacy here every summer with the Premier League kickoff series.
They don't feel the need to play real games here.
Right, and now it's developed into real games that count.
Well, because baseball, there's 162 of them. They don't give a shit.
Brian, there's only 16 NFL games. There's 38 Premier League games.
The Premier League.
There's no matchup
no
here
reason for the Premier League to come
here. It makes too much sense.
There's no reason for the Premier League to come here.
Premier League game that counts.
No team is going to sign off to come here for a game that counts from the Premier League.
They don't need to. Brian, most of the Premier League owners are fucking American.
Yeah, but they know they're going to piss off all their fans if they leave a home game off the table.
I guarantee you, if you do the first game of the year or second game of the year over in somewhere in the States, they got 36 more back over there. I mean, they might be annoyed. They might have opinions. They might riot. I mean, I don't know how bad they can riot. They're not going to boycott the club. They're not going to not show up again. It's just not going to happen.
I don't think owners are going to want to piss off their fan bases that much.
Well, it's to be seen. La Liga's already approved to do it. I think
they
again,
got some hurdles to get through too, though.
Once money talks, all the other bullshit walks.
I think we're talking about the sanctity of sport. I think the Premier League just is too. They view themselves as too high up there to come over here.
Brian, we said this about the NFL 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whenever it was.
The NFL's been doing this forever.
No, they haven't.
Well, yeah, Eli Manning was running touchdowns in London.
Yeah, not like relatively recently, not 30 years ago.
It's 20 years ago.
No one was doing it 30 years ago.
Well, Brian just said Babe Ruth was in Japan.
He was.
But either way, again, we can go down the rabbit hole in this debate as well. But
yeah, okay, my bad. I was talking sanctioned games. Brian's talking unsanctioned games.
Let's jump into who we got winning the series. Every time the Phillies have to travel, it's always a weird dynamic. Like, I don't love it. But I mean, they're just the hottest team in baseball right now. The best team in baseball, as far as I'm concerned. Pitching, defense, hitting, it's all been lights out. I got the Phillies. I could see a 1-1 split. If the Mets sweep the series, I'd be surprised. But, I got the Phillies to take it in 2 with ease. Have a couple pints at the pub, and get back home to Fenway. They got to go to Fenway right when they get back, so that'll be fun. Bri, what's your prediction here?
The Mets are going to be winning both games by 2 or more runs in the 9th inning, and then they'll blow up, and they'll lose both.
One of them seems like it's going to have a dramatic ending, right?
Yeah, the crazy part of this series in general, so they're kind of advertising for it over there, and the Phillies had a poster with Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, and Trey Turner. The Mets poster was Jake Reed, a reliever who's not on the team, Adam Ottavino, and Reed Garrett. 3 relievers, one of which is not on the team. So that shows you the state of the Mets right now.
It's a pretty... Yeah, I've seen a lot of Phillies promotion about going to London. Haven't really seen much Mets. I haven't seen much Mets promotion about going to... I mean, you wouldn't even think they're the team that's going.
Yeah, I mean the biggest like ambassador in terms of
Like, what's going on with the
personality,
Mets PR team?
besides Lindor, like the biggest personality on the Mets is probably McNeil, and he's been benched for the last 3 games, so I don't think he's too happy. So it's just like there's no one to promote it.
What is
It's
wrong
just
with
like
your
the
fucking
Mets
franchise,
PR team
dude?
needs to step it up on social media.
Yeah, they haven't been great. They did have the players eat some British snacks, and they all hated them because the British cuisine is fucking shit.
It's
Coming off of
awful.
that. I did
It
see
is
that.
awful. Jack, do you want to just throw a formal prediction out just for the fuck of it at this point?
Sure, Phil's 2-0 because the Mets are dog shit
All
this
right,
year.
fuck you guys then. I'm changing mine to Mets 2-0. If you're both going to be
Phil's
against me,
Phil's 2-0 because you're Mr.
Move
Chalk.
on, pussy.
Because you're Mr. Chalk and you're going to take the best team to take it 2-0.
Mr.
I
Chalk
know how
over
it
here.
goes. But can't wait. London Series going to be electric. Real quick, because we still have a full 4 and 400 segment to get to. I know it's been a long one, but there's a lot of stuff going on. And, we're going to cover it all. 4 and 400 coming up soon, so stick with us. But before we do that, quick, around the horn, don't need to spend too much time on it. College World Series is going on. We're into the Super Regionals, couple wild games. I'd say the last Cinderella-esque team to make a run that when you expect team called Evansville. They made it out of their regional, so they're
Out of
out there.
the
We all know and love them from college basketball, but they made it to the super regionals. But in terms of a future, I think you guys are going to be pretty big on UNC. I'm not going with them. I know Jack's already thinking about them, but I'll take Clemson or Kentucky. Clemson strictly for the uniforms. Other than Auburn, I think they have the best uniforms in college baseball. But I'll take a shot on the Kentucky Wildcats as too. So one of those teams, I'm pretty confident none of you were going to take them. So that's why I took two off the board.
I like that, Matt. I like that a lot. And you're right. We don't need to spend too much time on this, but you fucking nailed it. The two teams that I've been looking at, Florida State and UNC. They play good baseball, top to bottom. We're talking about defense, hitting, pitching. Base running. It's really good stuff. I've been really enjoying watching their game. So I like UNC. I like Florida State. The chalk play is Tennessee. I'm not going to give you that because you'll always give me bullshit for Tennessee for going chalk. But Tennessee's the easy chalk play. The real underdog that I'm going to give you though is UConn. All right, and I know that they just won the basketball tournament, but my lord, is this UConn team so fundamentally sound? It's like watching the Spurs play basketball. It's beautiful. If you have a chance to watch the UConn team play, do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the point of the year where you get to that super regional and the moment might be too big, might be too powerful of a team that they come across. And, I don't know that UConn's going to have enough to really, that's why it's tough in baseball when you have those fun Cinderella-esque teams is just gets to a point where it's just too big, too powerful, too strong, and they can't propel past. But Brian, did you have a quick piece before we move on here?
country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, winning it all. Country roads take me home.
The Mountaineers are still alive. And I think we just found Brian's future. Did you just come up with that future on the spot, or have you been thinking about that all day?
I looked at the teams this morning, and as soon as I saw West Virginia was left, I was like, I have to do the song on the podcast.
There you go. Would make Bob Huggins proud, who has nothing to do with the baseball team, but the only guy I know affiliated with West Virginia.
Got a cool stool.
Yeah, he sure does. But real quick, even quicker than that, French Open. We're already in the semifinals. I don't know who to go with the women's side. Iga Swiatek is so lights out. She seems like the only one to pick. Definitely the favorite on the numbers. But on the men's side, I'm going to go with Jannik Sinner. He's been red hot playing tennis. over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years. I believe he won one of the majors. Maybe it was the Australian. I'm not 100% sure, but Yannick Sinner to take down Alcaraz in the semis, which is a tall task, and go on to win the French Open to add to his trophy cabinet. Still a young player, but you guys got a quick pick. Jack, I see you're looking yours up right now. Who's going to win the French Open?
Don't give a shit. I'm not looking it up. I don't give a shit, man. I don't give a shit who's winning the French Open.
Brian, you got a pick before we move on here?
I'm going to give you Coco Gauff on the women's side because USA. As long as her matches are not past her bedtime, because she got mad about games lasting till 2 a.m.
Well, I think it starts 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Oh, so yeah, I'll go Coco.
But what's France ahead of us here on the East Coast? 7 hours?
I think she was mad about French. I think in French time. I don't think she was mad about it being 2 a.m. US because I'm sure they're acclimated by now.
Yeah, so it'll be 9 a.m. here, local time in the States on the East Coast. So
you're saying okay, yeah.
So plus 7 hours will be what time it actually is starting over there.
2 p.m.
Where is it?
So like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. It's in France.
3 p.m. Yeah.
It'd be like 2, 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
it'll finish well before 8 o'clock.
All right, Coco, you'll be able to go to sleep on time. Yeah, Coco.
Be able to go to sleep. There's Brian. Plus 500 on the money line, by the way. So some solid value, but for good reason as well, as Iga Swiatek is absolutely the best women's tennis player in the world. And hasn't been close. She's lights out. But it's the French Open. A lot of stuff going on in the world of sports. But finally, a segment that's been red hot. The people love it. The comments have been blowing up. Some wild takes, some wild lists. That's what we're here for. It's Views from Section 400, the 4 in 400, presented by not only Views from Section 400, but in this one, it's absolutely unbelievable that we have all these crazy topics. We couldn't even decide on one, but we're going to go with the number one of number ones, the best overall number one picks of all time across all sports. You know, I know it could be maybe we should have went individually sport by sport, but we're keeping everything open on the table. We know there's a lot of great picks out there across all the sports. So some big names are going to be left off the list. There's probably guys we'll forget, but we're going to try and dial up some pretty solid lists here of the best number one overall picks of all time. Now, before we start, let's go over the draft order. I had the third pick last time, so I will assume the role of the number one pick and have the full palette, which honestly is almost sometimes a curse because there's always somebody out there who says, how the hell did you not pick this guy? But with my number one pick, I don't know. There's so much out there to pick from, and I got to say the guy who goes back to the GOAT debate, and it's LeBron James. I mean, is he not the all-time number one pick?
Yeah. He's got to be.
That's the correct pick. That's a lot better than Kentucky Derby.
All right, we don't need to rat down the rabbit hole debate. You guys can fight that off camera.
That's fucking nuts, dude. You hear this guy?
Jack, were you going second or was Brian?
Yeah, Jack's too.
Oh, I'm number 2? All right. Well, LeBron was my pick. He was going to be my pick. Oh, man. So, you know what, Matt? For that reason, I'm going to have to get you on one here, and I'm between two guys. Either 2016 or 2017. Ben Simmons or Markelle Fultz, man. Which one do I take?
I would probably go Markelle Fultz because the guy didn't know how to shoot.
Matt, I'm not taking either of them. The process is broken.
He was waiting all day to get that jab in.
Yeah. No, as soon as you told me that this was about number one picks, I knew I had to lock that in. But
poorly executed, by the way. But continue.
Yes. All right. It was a little bit rude of me, but here we are. We're moving on. I'm salty that you took the LeBron James pick, dude. I mean, look, I know that he was the clear-cut number one, but still, if I have to pick second, I'm still salty about it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to go back to my roots, and I'm going to take myself the greatest athlete of all time, Mr. Bo Jackson.
Okay.
Fair. Okay.
Brian goes, okay.
I didn't have him on my top 20 list, but
Yeah, I didn't have him on my list. I think there's some better guys. I mean, the
guys
art
are out of control. Kentucky Derby, Bo Jackson. You try to name me something better than that duo.
tough start for the 4 and 400 from Jack's camp over there. But Bri,
Out of control.
third pick. Let's keep
all right,
it
I got
moving
3 and 4
boys.
here. I'm gonna give you Mr. Magic Johnson and Mr. Sidney Crosby.
Okay. Okay. Still a lot of big players on the board for me here.
That's crazy. All right, look, I mean, just because of that, solely because of that, because you went with Magic over somebody who's better than him, played on the same team, I'm going to go right here and take him, Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's crazy that you would take Magic over Kareem, Brian.
Magic was the reason the Showtime Lakers existed.
I don't want to hear that.
Here's one. So what? I'm up now with my second pick.
You got 2 and 3.
Oh, I go 2 and 3 here. Oh, I got some good ones. So with the second pick, and this is going to predate some time, but I think it's well worthy because this guy is Hall of Famer, and I think he's absolutely should be on this list. So with the pick, I'm going to go with Terry Bradshaw. One of 3 quarterbacks with 4 Super Bowls. If you get a number 1 pick that gets you 4 Super Bowls, I think that warrants you as a pretty damn good player.
Yeah. Some would say he played in an era with plumbers and accountants, but
yeah, I mean, I'm with
one of 3 quarterbacks with 4 Super Bowls. That's of all time.
Look, I hear Brian's claim right now. I hear your claim. Championships mean something, but do they mean everything? We'll see.
Means a lot to your legacy for sure.
All right. Well,
Matt's got one more.
Matt's
got one more.
Still got one more here.
Okay.
But so yeah, LeBron, Terry Bradshaw, and here's where I didn't really know where to go with it, but a guy who was absolutely electric and just kind of like a fun pick, even though I hate the Braves, Chipper Jones.
I thought you were taking mine for a second.
Interesting. I'm surprised you went with the Braves pick, but
I mean, Chipper Jones was fucking electric.
Dude, Hall of Fame career. No doubt about it. No, I'm not going to take a single thing away from that. Absolutely electric career. But I'm going to go back to what we were talking about on the past pick with the championships versus no championships. I'm going to take an older brother here, Mr. Peyton Manning. 5-time MVP. 5-time MVP. You name me the last 5-time MVP. It's probably Peyton Manning. But here we are with the conversation about championships. His little bro Eli had 2. He only had 1. You know, are we going to say that he's not in this number 1 overall conversation because he only had 1 chip?
He got 2.
Bro had 5 MVPs.
He got 2. He got Broncos and Colts.
Oh my God, dude! I completely forgot about the Broncos Super Bowl.
Yeah, Broncos when he was carried. He had the noodle arm. But
that's a fever dream. Yeah, he did not win that. His defense won that, but still.
But his legacy and career was so good that it didn't matter because he had the stats to back it up, and then that was just an extra thing to throw into his career there. So
yeah. You go win 5 MVPs and a Super Bowl, and then like on the back end of your career, you get an extra Super Bowl. Like, yeah, you deserve that shit. You do.
For sure.
Yeah. That was going to be my next pick, so you did snipe me there. But I got two other ones I like here. I will go back to the NBA with Mr. DJ Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. And for my final pick, I'm going to go away from the rings for a second just because this guy was so electric. The kid, Mr. Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay.
It's a good one. I had Ken Griffey on there as well.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna pick him when you picked Chipper.
Nah, I think Chipper was a little more electric. I don't know though. It's close.
Depend. Chipper was like the more dependable, like ring. Like he would always win, and then Ken Griffey Jr. was just fucking flashy as hell.
Electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is tough. But I mean, you really I guess can't go wrong with either or. They both were
Yeah,
electric in
I
their
had
own
him right.
right.
I had him right next to each other on my list.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, with my last pick, I was actually thinking about this guy in my 4 slot. I didn't think he'd get picked, and I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to go with a guy who's had a more accomplished career. But if we want to roll this tape back in, like, I don't know, give or take like 5, 6, 7 years from now, Wemby should be on our list, but he's not old enough yet. He's not old enough yet. He hasn't had the career. Instead, I'm going to take the former Spurs GOAT, Tim Duncan,
Big fundamental.
Mr. Fundamental.
Yeah. It's a good pick. I definitely had him was considering him, should say the least, but all right. Before I make the last pick, I got LeBron, Terry Bradshaw, Chipper Jones. Brian, what do you got?
I had Magic, Sidney Crosby, Shaq, and Ken Griffey Jr.
And Jack, what are yours?
I've got Mr. Bo Jackson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Peyton Manning, and Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I mean, you guys sniped up pretty much most of what I had down there, as well as obviously the ones that I picked. But one that wasn't said, and one that I think should count here because he was just an absolute electric football player. And that's going to be Mr. John Elway. I feel like he got overlooked, and this guy was absolutely unbelievable. Hall of Fame. And again, a guy, if you draft that and you get that career out of it, you'll take that 10 out of freaking 10 times. I mean, Elway was the real deal at the quarterback position.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. Matt, when you started that, I was very scared that you were going to say O.J. Simpson for a second, but I'm really happy you went with John Elway.
I did. I was considering as a joke maybe doing that as a last pick, but no, I mean, if we left Elway off the list, I feel like that would have been a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
Respect.
we left some good players off.
Well, that's what I said. Doing this across all major sports with only 3 guys drafting, and we're only doing
12,
4
12
rounds.
total.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot, and it's very subjective, opinionated.
It is.
It can go whichever way you want. So sure, and I prefaced it with that. I said there's gonna be people who are irritated because we left their favorite player off, and this, that, and the third. Build a bridge, get over it. Go do your own list. This is our fucking list.
I really thought you were going to go for the Philadelphia pandering and pick Bryce Harper at some point.
Nah.
I was expecting Colin to go with Harper at some point.
I was thinking more guys who had the decorated career, which made them the good number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Harper
sure
doesn't have the ring yet, but Harper still got some good years left in him.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my thought process. But yeah, LeBron, Terry Bradshaw, Chipper Jones, John Elway. I love my list. I feel like I got a strong shot.
Yeah, I like mine a lot too.
Ain't no doubt about it. Put it up to the test. We'll see what Instagram says.
We'll see if Jack can get more votes than himself in his burner account this time.
Damn, last minute burn shade throw by Brian.
Yeah, honestly, Brian, I don't even know what you're talking about because
Jack in his burner account.
Right, because I'm pretty sure that I didn't win whatever poll you're talking about. So I don't even know why you're shading me right now. Did I win it? Did I actually win it? Is that what you're pissed about?
No, you got 2 votes from you in your burner account.
Oh, dude, get out of here. Get out of here. There's no way that the 2 votes came from me in my burner account. I don't even have a real account. I only have a burner account, Brian.
Well, either way, we're going to need to figure out a punishment for whoever comes in last. So comment below what the punishment should be for the loser.
Within reason. Actually, it'll be Jack, so you can make it harsh. But I think that kind of wraps us up here.
We got to get out of here.
We got to get out of here, man. It's fucking dark out. I got to go. Jack's hammered. He needs to go to bed. It was a great show. Awesome show. Action-packed, uninterrupted sports conversation. That's what it's about over here at Views from Section 400. I'm Matt. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Go Panthers.